Welcome into the Gator Report, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. I'm here with Coach Goodspeed, where we talk everything Gators football. Coach, a lot has happened since the last time we met.
Yes.
Bucks named Baker Mayfield as a starting quarterback.
Yep.
We got Donald Trump's mugshot. There was a hurricane on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
What am I forgetting?
It's been a challenging week. So with the issue we had facing our program this week, it was good to be able to get onto the field and play for not only myself and the boys, but just as a community and the support that we've gotten. But yeah, it's been a challenging week to see when your program makes national news. Frustrating over really what transpired, and the media jumping to conclusions of what was there and what wasn't there.
Yeah, it's tough to put the toothpaste back in the tube once.
Exactly. And so yes, it's been rough on the boys, and that's who I feel the worst for.
Sure.
But also our coaches that just care more than anything for these boys. So, but at the end of the day, we were they had the investigation, and it was found to be not hazing, which is the dirtiest word you can imagine in a football program.
Sure.
Excuse me, I'm still hoarse from last night. Which I always knew, but to have it all over the media is a little frustrating. But like I said, they did a full investigation and found it not to be true. It was just two of our players screwing around, which we got to be better. That is a team and make better decisions. But I think it was a great learning moment for the boys that they're highlighted. I mean, what happened could have happened anywhere in the school or anywhere outside. But when you're doing something special, you're under a microscope, and it tends to get blown up when it has to. So, but like I said, at the end of the day, the admin worked hard to get us back on the field. If nothing came of it, and it didn't, so we put together an hour practice. 2-hour practice maybe it was on Thursday, and got a chance to get back on the field.
Yeah, I think the good news is that within 48 hours they were able to right the ship and figure things out and get things back on track.
That's right.
It's unfortunate that you guys lost that time, and I know it had some effect on the game. In terms of the conditioning, we saw a lot of cramping last night.
Absolutely. When you miss those days in the Florida heat, you really suffer. Especially it was fairly humid last night too, so that sucks it out of you. But also, as coaches, you're always on top of the boys, saying, "Hey, let's make sure we're hydrating, taking care of our bodies, eating right." And that constant reminder wasn't there, so maybe we lost a little bit of our hydration.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, good guys won, 24-9.
Yep.
Thought,
don't take anything away from River Ridge. Coach Reed was a teammate of mine, and I would have loved to see him coach with us, but he wanted to be the head coach at River Ridge. He's a good coach, and he's going to do great things for that program. And he had a great plan against us. There was a lot of blitzing, and knowing that we were behind on practice, it was a perfect game plan against us.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to give some credit to that defense. It was stout.
Absolutely.
They were playing on our side of the line of scrimmage quite a bit.
Absolutely.
So Kyle had his hands full. Especially that second and third quarter, I thought they were very stout on the defense.
Yeah.
But let's talk about our offense a little bit. And number 12, saw some big throws from him. One juggled in the end zone on a scramble play, and that would have been an amazing recovery there if we were able to hold on to the ball. But he also had a huge run.
Yep.
I think that was the third quarter. What can you say about his performance?
I saw a different Kyle in that game, which excites me, because I saw a leader be born at that position. I saw him, encouraging his guys in front of him to give him time to protect. He was under duress a lot in that game. like I said, because they were coming from every side of it, and we weren't with one day of practice prepared to see all that stuff. So, but he did a great job leading the offensive line and pushing them, and then he stood in the pocket and took some hits, but made some great throws. Something that you can really build on that I haven't seen from him before. And I even told him after the game, I said, you're a different quarterback after this game. I liked what I saw, and I think the team's really going to rally around him.
Yeah, I was impressed the way he held in there and stood in there and knowing those hits were coming.
Yep.
Certainly matured quite a bit.
Yeah, obviously something we're going to fix very quickly because I want him to be able to stand tall in the pocket and throw. So it's we're going to get better up front and give him the time that he needs to make those throws.
Yeah. And then Jerix Ramos, I thought had a great night. What can you say about him?
Yeah, it's funny because before the Victory Christian game, we didn't exactly know where he would fit in on offense. And then we gave him the opportunity because of the cramping and, the sideline issue with, some guys had some stomach issues and everything. So I said, hey, let's go. Let's get in, see, because I liked how you hit the hole last week. Let's give you a chance, and that's what he did. I mean, he just sprinted towards that line of scrimmage and burst through, and then you saw it. It was the kind of the burst we needed. And when those plays start coming, the offensive line gets fed and gets excited, and they start coming off the football better.
Yeah, he caught the edge there in the fourth quarter, and the speed. I was really impressed with his speed as well.
Yes, it was exciting to watch, and it gave us a huge boost.
For sure. All right, let's talk about the defense. You held the Knights to 10 points. Mm-hmm. Impressive defense. Number 7, Delvin Gilbertson, I thought, man, he came alive last night.
Yeah, and that's why he's a captain. And when I first came to the program, that was identified instantly because of his leadership characteristics. And what we saw last night from him, giving the defense a boost, but also we use him on offense a little bit, and he gave our offense a boost. So he was helping on both sides of the ball last night. And the energy that he brought to the table, his just enthusiasm, and just, hey, this isn't us right now, we're going to get going. So he did an amazing job for us. Fantastic what he did last night. I mean, between him and Kyle, and everybody who stepped around him, but if I can identify the two guys on both sides of the ball, that was, who I would call out.
Yeah. And he's a really good student as well.
Phenomenal student. We talk a little bit about what's coming next for him, and college is in his thoughts. Maybe engineering, which would be amazing. I think he'd fit well. So now we just have to match up those schools with football if he wants to continue on playing football, which I believe he does. And so we've been reaching out and contacting these schools, and with those kind of grades, he can go wherever he wants, which is an amazing opportunity for him. And then pursue his degree most importantly, and have football work for him.
Excellent. All right, special teams. We saw kind of a mixed bag there.
Well, on a short week, that's what you usually get. Mistakes would be made because we're shuffling guys on there. But there was a couple that did really good for us. We had a couple turnovers on special teams, had a couple big returns, but we also had a punt block. We had 2 punt blocks, I think.
Yep.
And so obviously a focal point, and I think that's the 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams. When you're short timed on a week, that's the area that's going to suffer the most, just because of just time to get to work. I mean, you want to focus on offense and make sure we're getting things done on defense. And unfortunately, that's the one which is equally in a 3-phase game sport. It's equally as important, but that's the one that usually suffers.
Yeah, I mean, that can really change the momentum of the game with those. I think we got one positive in the end zone. They fumbled a kickoff, and we were able to convert that. But those can be big momentum shifts in a football game.
No question. And to have them step up there too really helped us, especially when we were sputtering on offense, and then we get a big boost of energy from a special teams move. But I mean, that kind of goes hand to hand. I mean, from the pros all the way down to high school, You usually have to win 2 out of 3 phases to win a football game. And, it's close on some of them. But, defense did a good job, and offense and special teams did enough to push us over the top.
Great. So far, you guys have stayed pretty much injury-free through the preseason and game 1?
We've had a couple nicks here and there, but through this last night, as far as I know, until I get the report that we're healthy, which is a good thing. We had, like you said earlier, we had some cramping, but that kind of mixes in with what happened during the week. But really good with injuries. Knock on wood, of course, because as soon as you start talking about it, something goes the wrong way. But I feel pretty good where we're at there. Moving forward.
Well, great. Next week, Anclo.
Yep.
They put up 44 points last night.
Impressive. Their coach is doing a great job there. I think this is his second year as well. Phenomenal. I mean, I was surprised that they won, but I was definitely surprised they put up that many points. So that's great. They're really doing a good job out there.
So the defense is going to get tested, it looks like.
Yeah.
We're at home, 7:30.
Ooh, I'm excited to be home and be back with our Gator Nation student section. I think they really showed out our last home game, and it was fun. We have a surprise for them, so I hope they look forward to that.
They showed up last night at the away game too. There was a good crowd on our side of the field, so hopefully we can continue to grow that. That one was fairly close, so distance wasn't a big deal, but I'd love to see that continue to grow on these away games as well.
Yeah, and I said it from the beginning. I mean, Friday nights are for the football players, yes, but also the band, the cheerleaders, the students that go to the school. I mean, that's what we're trying to make it special for. Something that we can all rally around, on Friday evenings. So hopefully the atmosphere is going to be amazing next Friday with between the community coming out and our student section. And I know the band will be there, and the cheerleaders are doing a great job with their new coach. So it should be a lot of fun.
All right, I want to hit you with some non-Gator stuff real quick.
What?
Quick
I
lightning
like to
round.
talk about the Gators.
Well, we could talk about the UF Gators. They're
okay.
They're going to be facing Utah, ranked 14th. You got a prediction there?
I'd say Utah. I mean, that's an easy because they're ranked and unranked.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're gripping a little bit at the University of Florida, so I'm going to start with that one. I think that's more of an easy one.
Okay.
But I feel like they'll turn it around in the season and have a pretty strong showing.
All right. How about 8 versus 5, FSU and LSU?
It's interesting what offensively FSU's been doing, watching them. But I think LSU has the more experience right now as far as, being in bigger games where they've been kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit, FSU, over the past couple seasons. So I think that one goes to LSU.
LSU, okay. USF versus Western Kentucky.
Another interesting one because I really like what the new coaching staff is doing at USF. I think they're making a lot of excitement. They're recruiting Florida. They're recruiting our area. And I think that's a big thing that gets missed with, big colleges in the local area. Everybody wants to scout and go all around everywhere else, but they don't stay local. And I think they've done a great job just building their brand here in our area and making sure that they're recruiting. But I think that's a start to everything. And Western Kentucky's been doing some good things over the years, so I'm going to have to go with Western Kentucky. But I think USF has a stronger season than thought.
All right, we'll see how that one turns out. FAU versus Monmouth.
I'm going to go FAU on that one. I've been to their stadium a few times looking at some of their players. Love the atmosphere and the program that they've built there and the guys that come out. So I'm going to go with FAU on that one.
Okay, we've got right down the road FIU versus Louisiana Tech. That's tonight.
Another one that FAU and FIU, they kind of have a nice little rivalry battle down there in South Florida. So it's always tough, but I like the offense that they have. Sometimes I don't know if they have the players to do it. Man, that's a really tough one to pick right there, but I'll stay Florida on that one, FIU.
Okay.
Well, you got to talk about the most important game coming up.
Which is
UCF at Kent State. I'm a Kent State alumni.
All right.
Yeah. So,
what are you going to do?
well, I would actually love to go to the game, right? You get as an alumni, you get the invites to come to all that stuff. But fortunately, we have a JV game. I don't want to say unfortunately, because I love coaching the boys, so I'll be watching. It's probably going to go heavily to UCF because they have a new head coach, and Kent State's Kent State. And I hate to say this about my own place, but definitely UCF. When you get to their stadium and the student section's rocking there, and it's just a great atmosphere. It's a tough place to play. So, unfortunately, UCF.
Now, the JV game, is that away or home?
That's home against Inclote.
Okay. So we'll get the PA announcer to give some updates during the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
Don't distract me.
All right, and then it's still preseason NFL, but we get to see Baker at least for a quarter, I guess, tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Is that tonight already?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, against
geez.
the Ravens. So
listen, the preseason schedule always messes me up because it's a Thursday, it's a Friday, it's just getting me Sunday football.
Right.
And Monday.
We're almost there. We're
almost there. There.
What do you expect out of Baker this year?
I don't know. I was down at training camp. I thought Trask was doing a heck of a job. I would say Baker has more experience. Obviously, he's been in games. So usually NFL teams will go with the experienced guy over a new guy, especially at the quarterback position. I have a feeling we'll see some of Trask this year. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the season. But I'm always a big supporter of the Bucs. Love the Bucs. Can't wait to have the creamsicles come out.
Yeah, I'll be at the game tonight, so we'll see how it goes. Well, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing the next one. Hopefully you guys can keep the win streak alive, and we'll see you in Anclote, at home against Anclote.
Sounds good to me. We'd like to welcome everybody out to the game on Friday. Let's have some fun.
Thanks, Coach.